Well, happy Monday, everyone. This is Dr. Kelly Rock, and we have now reached week 2 of this very brief, accelerated 6-week summer course. First of all, Melanie, Macy, and Emily, you have all done a wonderful job during week 1, and I want to give you some well-deserved praise for that, and just want to prepare you for this next week. Weeks run from Mondays until Sundays at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today starts week 2, module 2. The focus of this week is going to be ethics, standards, and nursing frameworks, psychosocial theoretical basis of psychiatric nursing, as well as biologic foundations of psychiatric nursing. In your Boyd textbook, we are going to be covering chapters 6, 7, and 8. There are 3 assignments in this module or this week worth a total of 75 points. These assignments are going to look pretty similar week to week as far as the flow is concerned. You'll see that you have a theorist/theory narrated PowerPoint discussion board assignment that's due on the 22nd, which is Sunday. Then there is a scope and standard oral discussion board assignment with an initial post due on Thursday and a reply post due on Sunday, and then module 2 quiz. There were some questions that I had gone back and reviewed during the first quiz that I ended up giving a couple of points for because I ended up really not liking the questions. In the future with the quizzes, if there are questions that you think may not be very clear, not well written, please feel free to go ahead and post those on the Q&A discussion board, and I will take a look at those. And if you have recommendations for changes, that would also be welcome. So let me pull up Module 2 here in the course. I just want to make sure that all of you feel comfortable moving forward with the different assignments. Okay, so again, these PowerPoints and guided lecture notes, they are there to complement your textbook. It's completely up to you whether or not you decide those are helpful or if they are not, but that's what these 3 items are here. And then we have the Module 2 assignments, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the very first one. So you're going to be choosing one psychosocial theory from Chapter 7 in your textbook that you believe has had a strong influence on the field, the specialty field of psychiatric and mental health nursing, but please do not choose Maslow's because everybody loves to choose Maslow's. So choose a theory with which maybe you are not as familiar and challenge yourself in that way. You're going to develop a PowerPoint presentation that's narrated to share with your peers via the discussion board. So they are really your audience. You can use any program to record the PowerPoint. You can do that within PowerPoint itself, or you could use a free program like Screencast-O-Matic, which is what I typically like to use. There's a free version that allows you to record for under 15 minutes for no charge. If you're not familiar with Screencast-O-Matic, I have shown you where to find that. You can just do a search in Google or any other search engine that you choose, and that you can click on the link and you can get the free download if you choose to do that. Your narrated PowerPoint needs to cover the following: a summary of the theorist, emphasizing their background and their influences. In previous semesters, students have really skipped over this part of the presentation. I'm not sure why, but this is important. So make sure that you don't just fluff over that. Try to get information about the theorist and include that in your presentation. an overview of the theory and the main theoretical concepts, the influence that the theory has had on the field of psychiatric nursing, and then at least 2 examples of how you either utilize or could utilize the theory in your own practice, even if you aren't practicing in a specialty area. And I believe that none of you are currently practicing in a specialized psychiatric setting. So you would be talking about how you could use the theory and the theoretical concepts in your individual practices, no matter where you work. You're going to be using your textbook and at least one other scholarly reference, which you will identify on the last slide for this assignment. Reply posts are not mandatory for this assignment, but if you have some positive or constructive feedback to share with your peers, please feel free to do so. Okay, let's take a look at the next assignment for Module 2. Okay, the second assignment for this module is the Scope and Standard Oral Discussion Board. Sort of like a video blog, you can include your face, or if you just want to do your voice, that's absolutely fine also. That's up to you. You will be asked to identify one scope and standard of practice for psychiatric mental health nursing that you think poses the biggest challenge to implement in today's healthcare landscape for RNs in America, not advanced practice nurses, registered nurses. You're going to find these in Chapter 6 in the Boyd textbook. You will want to explain why you believe that that scope and standard that you chose is the most challenging to implement and provide some details. Feel free to use examples when applicable to clarify your response, and please approach this from a broad perspective so you can think about it in terms of organizational challenges or employment setting challenges, from an educational standpoint, from a role perspective, licensure, certification, so on and so forth. You'll use your textbook as one scholarly reference along with a minimum of one other, which you will identify in your initial post, your verbal or oral post. Your initial post should be about 2 minutes in length. And again, you can record directly using the Rich Content Editor feature, or you can record yourself using something like Screencast-O-Matic. It's up to you. As long as we are able to open it and hear it and then be able to respond, that's fine. You will then reply to one of your peers' initial posts using the same oral format. Reply posts should be a minimum of 1 minute in length, and they should include a scholarly reference that you mention by name. You can either play devil's advocate and respectfully challenge the content in your peer's post, or you can add support by providing further research and evidence from an additional scholarly reference. And again, examples always help to paint a picture. The last assignment that's due for this module will be a quiz that will cover the assigned chapters, and the quiz will work. The quizzes all work in the same way. You can only take the quiz once, but they are open book and they are not timed. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to mention for Module 2. Please make sure that you're using the Q&A discussion board for anything that's general and just kind of related to the course in general. Any person-specific questions, please make sure that you email me. And I did want to say one other thing. Even from the beginning to the end of the first module, I saw some of you self-correcting when you were using stigmatizing language. And I saw that by the end of the week, you were already starting to self-correct and saying things like patients with addiction or clients with psychiatric disorders, which was just music to my ears and my eyes when I read it. So keep up the person-first language throughout the rest of this course. I think it'll serve us all well and will help us really take a bite out of stigma. Okay, have a wonderful week, everyone.